you ever drop something in the sink and it goes down into the garbage disposal? That fear you feel to make sure it's off before you go sticking your hand down there to retrieve whatever it is you've dropped. But then suddenly it whirs to life and oh no, you're a few inches shorter on your left hand. Many auteurs have taken everyday objects and wondered what if it came to life and everything went horribly wrong. Before we begin, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content with you in mind. With that being said, I am your host Sarah and here are 10 horror films with killer objects. Enjoy. Number 1. The Mangler. 1995's The Mangler was helmed by iconic horror filmmaker Tobe Hooper. Hooper is most known for writing and directing the original 1974 The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as well as directing Spielberg's 1983 classic The Poltergeist. The Mangler is adapted from a Stephen King short story by the same name. The story was first published in an issue of Cavalier magazine in December of 1972. It later appeared in King's 1978 collection of short stories Night Shift. The Mangler revolves around a laundry press that gets possessed and kills people. King wasn't even trying with this one. After the first death by the laundry press, police officer John Hunton is tasked with an investigation. If Hunton looks familiar, it's because he wants you to put the lotion in the bucket. As incidences keep happening, Officer Hunton eventually gets help from his demonologist brother who believes the laundry press to be possessed. The Blue Ribbon Laundry Service is where the laundry press resides. It is owned by a sinister old looking man, Freddy Krueger. Well, I mean Bill Gartley, but he's played by slasher icon Robert Englund, most famous for portraying Freddy Krueger in the original A Nightmare on Elm Street series. Speaking of the laundry service, looks straight out of A Nightmare on Elm Street. It could be Krueger's boiler room. Other than some cool casting, the occasional stylistic flair, and a couple of grisly kills, The Mangler isn't anything to write home about. But watch it anyways on YouTube, Google, Fandango and Amazon. Number 2. Rubber. The French-English language film Rubber debuted at Cannes in 2010. The film was met with warm critical reception, scholars citing it being well shot and an exercise in creativity, but might have extended its premises for a bit too long. Rubber is an absurdist film that follows a rubber tyre that grows sentient. The downside, it also has homicidal tendencies with telekinetic abilities, like inciting explosions. It's great for the viewer but terrible for any poor sap that comes across this tyre. Rubber is also directed by Quentin Dupieux, who is also a French electronic dance music artist known as Mr. Wazoo. He directed 2 feature films prior to Rubber, but mostly done music videos. He composed the music for Rubber with Gaspard Haut. Rubber is a horror gem I discovered well after its release and caught it once it streamed on Netflix. I do agree with the critics, it was creative, fun and absurd, but probably about 20 minutes too long. Rubber should have either been pared down or ramped up and gone more unhinged. Regardless, it's still a giddy over-the-top B-movie delight, and I recommend checking it out on Netflix. Number 3. Slacks. Canadian film Slacks premiered at the Fantasia International Film Festival in August of 2020. As the world was deep in the heart of the COVID-19 pandemic, the film festival was held digitally. Premier horror streaming service Shudder acquired the rights to Slacks for the 2021 streaming debut. The film revolves around possessed pair of pants, or for my UK viewers, it's trousers, not underwear, that torment and slaughter department store employees locked down at night for a fashion show. Slacks is a critique of toxic fashion and retail culture. It's clever, brisk and surprisingly dark, Plus, there are some bloody cool kills at the hands of Pants. Director Elza Kephart released her debut feature in 2003, a horror film called Graveyard Alive. Since she has worked in various departments in a slew of films, including the art department for X-Men Days of the Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse, as well as research assistant on the Brie Larson-led 2017 film The Glass Castle. Slacks is a horror comedy that was generally well received. It even won Jury Prize Best Film at the Mile High Horror Festival in 2020. All in all, these Slacks are truly killer. You can try on Slacks on Shudder, AMC+, Sling, Redbox, Amazon, Google, YouTube and Fandango. All the places you can watch it. Number 4, Christine. John Carpenter helmed the classic car film about a classic car come to life, Christine. The film is based on Stephen King's novel of the same name, and the book was released a mere 8 months before the film, both which were released in 1983. One of the producers, Robert Kulbritz, produced an adaptation of King's novel Salem's Lot in 1979 as well. King and Robert formed somewhat of a partnership, and Robert was able to option the manuscript for Christine years before its release so he could begin development for the film. The book earned decent reviews and was a bestseller, and that helped the film become a modest success. Christine grossed $21 million on a $10 million budget. Exposure from the film would most certainly boost the sales of the book as well. The film Christine also earned decent reviews. Horror icon John Carpenter, who was hot off the classic remake of The Thing, only bolstered the film's pedigree. Christine is the perfect fusion for the two titans of horror. The story revolves around a 1958 Plymouth Fury that kills people. The car is honestly the perfect vehicle build for the role. It's imposing, menacing with animalistic features. The nerd Arnold Cunningham, aka Arnie, and his friend Dennis come across the dilapidated Plymouth Fury for sale. Its owner passed and said the owner's brother says the car's name is Christine. Arnie cherries out the car. Little did he know it's sentient, temperamental, and throws a proverbial wrench, or perhaps a tire iron, in the lives of Arnie and those around him. Take a trip with Christine on Fandango, Google, YouTube and Amazon. These are very random films. Number 5, Deathbed, the Bed That Eats. Deathbed, the Bed That Eats is a true cult classic. The film was never officially released in theatres at the time of completion in 1976 and built a following through what was a tantamount to an accidental bootlegging by a VHS company in Europe. Deathbed did screen at IndieFest in 2003. The film involves a lovelore demon who once conjured a bed to make love to a woman. That seems unnecessary, but whatever. She dies during the act and he weeps blood, inadvertently bringing the bed to life. That's a story as to why this bed that eats people. Primary lovers. Sharon's brother might look familiar to millennials. He's played by William Russ or Corey Matthews, dad in Boy Meets World. Writer and director of Deathbed actually filmed in Detroit in the early 70s, long before its unofficial release. He did it on a $30,000 budget. I can't get any official home market numbers. However, not only did it get an official DVD release in 2003, but also a Blu-ray release in 2013. Don't get me wrong, Deathbed isn't good in the traditional sense, but it is absurdist experimental horror, so it is more intriguing than its title suggests. I will say that the HD transfer looks pretty good considering Deathbed, the Bed That Eats is an incredibly cheaply made indie B film from the 70s. You can stream it on Amazon. Very, very random film. Number 6, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, wherever you're based. Yes, my introduction to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes was an animated series that aired for Fox Kids in the 90s. I remember very little about the show except the theme song, which still gets stuck in my head to this day. The original 1978 film Attack of the Killer Tomatoes was supposed to be a spoof of a B-movies, particularly from the 50s. Instead, it ended up being as bad, if not worse. However, the film does fall into the "it's so bad, it's good" category, and itself has grown into a cult hit and a cultural phenomenon. Attack of the Killer Tomato revolves around a ravenous sentient tomato that has been mutated. They go on a mass murder spree and have to be stopped by a band of scientists. Director John DeBello actually based this film on his 1976 short by the same name. The rest of his career consisted mostly of helming killer tomato projects. Although the original was critically panned, charred and thrown in the closet waste bin, it did spew out a profit in theatres. It grossed $500k against a $100k budget. I'd love to see the rental numbers and the cable revenue too. Also, how much was the tomato budget? Half of the time it is just tomatoes being whipped across the screen. It's hilarious and it really does sound it. See for yourself on Amazon, Plex, Pluto, Freevee and Fandango. Killer tomatoes. Killer tomatoes. Number 7. The Lift. The Lift, or D-Lift, marks Dick Maas, yes that is his real name, features directional debut. The film premiered in the Netherlands in May of 1983. Maas had primarily directed shorts before The Lift, and he would go on to direct a half a dozen music videos during the 80s alone. He also would continue to feature films, including an American remake of The Lift in 2001 called Down. The Lift revolves around an apartment complex elevator that seems to develop a mind of its own. It starts with a group of people who suffer heat stroke in the elevator, which leads to a whole investigation. The Lift is labelled as a sci-fi horror, but it has quite a bit of intentional humour in it, which is a good thing considering the ridiculous nature of its premise. I also happened to watch the English dubbed version that comes with its own set of issues. Regardless, the elevator in The Lift becomes sentient, which obviously means it's also homicidal, because everything becomes homicidal when it's to do with humans. If you are ready for some schlocky deaths, camp and surprising topicality regarding AI, this film is for you. Ultimately, The Lift has its ups and downs. Catch it on Tubi, Google, YouTube and Fandango and Amazon. Number 8. Oculus. Although in 2013 Oculus was my first introduction to the brilliant horror film director Mike Flanagan, as it was many people's, it was actually his second feature film. His first was a crowd-funded independent film from 2011 called Absentia. Oculus is based on a short film from Flanagan called Oculus Chapter 3, The Man with a Plan. The feature film premiered at Toronto International Film Festival on September of 2013. Its US theatrical release was distributed by Relativity Media on April the 11th, 2014. Oculus tells two parallel stories of siblings Kaylee and Tim Russell and their move into a new house as children that contains a mysterious antique mirror. The past tale tells the story of the children's parents, Alan and Marie Russell, who were both haunted or seduced by the mirror. Oculus is a beautiful and tragic psychological journey. The mirror is quite literally reflecting fears. Thanks to Flanagan's poignant script and taut direction, the film rides the premise to glory. In the flashback story, both Alan and Marie meet their demise by the mirror. The present-day story sees Kaylee has devoted her life to learning about this antique mirror, while her brother has been in a psychiatric hospital. In Oculus, the siblings didn't fully remember what happened, and the narrative structure, oscillating between past and present, gives some sense of their point of view. Actress Karen Gillan, who is most notable for playing fan favourite Amy Pond in Doctor Who, is a force to be reckoned with as she plays the adult Kaylee. Her mother is played by sci-fi darling Katie Sackhoff of Battlestar Galactica fame. Oculus was a commercial success on top of garnering widespread critical praise. Blumhouse was a production company for Oculus as well as, believe it or not, WWE. Wow. It's been over a decade since the original and you can check it out Oculus on Plex, Amazon, Redbox, Google, YouTube and Fandango. Number 9. Child's Play. Chucky the infamous killer doll made his first appearance in the 1988 slasher film Child's Play. The original film sees notorious killer Charles Lee Ray, also known as the Lakeshore Strangler, on the run in the mid-set of a shootout with the cops. After being shot in the leg and his ride ditching him, he ducks out into a toy store. He's shot again but fatally by the cop while in the toy store. Charles, having been taught voodoo, prays to the god Damballa. I may have pronounced that wrong, and transfers his soul into one of the popular good guy dolls on the shelf. Charles, or Chucky in doll form, is given as a birthday present to a young boy named Andy, who is played by Alex Vincent. The longer Chucky stays in the body of the doll, the more human he becomes. His soul will eventually be trapped in that body. Since Andy is the first person that Chucky let in on his secret, he has to transfer his soul into Andy's body. The core story for Child's Play 1 to 3 is Chucky trying to become Andy, while murdering anyone he can. Child's Play 3 sees Andy as a 16-year-old sent to military school, played for the first and only time as Justin Whalin. All subsequent films and TV seasons see the lore expand, new prominent characters introduced and involve even more good guy dolls. Don Mancini, the architect and creator of the franchise, has wrote every single film in the franchise. He is also the showrunner for the hit TV series Chucky. Go see Child's Play on Amazon, Google, YouTube and Fandango. I actually didn't know there was a TV series, I'm going to have to check that out. Number 10. Maximum Overdrive. There was no time when author Stephen King was more prolific than in the 80s. You couldn't throw a stone without hitting something based on a King story. The 1986 film Maximum Overdrive was written and directed by Stephen King himself, marking his first and only directed feature. It was also an adaptation of his own short story Trucks, from his first collection of short stories called Night Shift. King also appears in this film as well. Maximum Overdrive opens with a text explaining that a comet is passing by Earth and it will be in the tail for 8 days. I'm no astronomer, but comets never spell anything good in a horror film. In the case of Maximum Overdrive, it causes machines to become alive, and by alive I mean alive with bloodlust, because it's always the case if humans are involved. If you're looking for killer objects in films, but one won't just cut it, you need them to the max, then this film is for you. Is it good? No. But that's not why any of us are watching it. We are here to go and see a vending machine pelt kids with soda cans. Eventually, a group of survivors gets holed up in a truck stop while living semis try to kill them. Keep your ears out for Yardley Smith, who goes on to lend her voice to the iconic Lisa Simpson. Experience Maximum Overdrive on Tubi, Pluto, Freevee, Amazon, Google, YouTube and Fandango. And I think that's VIX, but I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. VIX. Thank you for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Please let us know in the comments below, as I would love to hear what other films use objects to be horrifying. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to tap that bell icon so you can stay up to date with all our latest releases. You can reach out to us at Twitter, also known as X, @StudioFat, or chat with us on Discord, which will be linked below. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I have been your host Sarah, and I've really appreciated you being here with me today. I hope you have a beautiful day and take care. Goodbye.